Okay, and I'll probably just turn my video off as well because it will help with my screen. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so MOA. This is just going to be like a snapshot. I could talk about, you know, MOA for so much longer, but oh no, I can't. Why isn't this going? There we go. That's fine. Sorry, I can't get my slides to move on. So MOA is basically it's a liquid supplement with 34 superfood ingredients. They're all cold pressed raw superfoods that are sourced from around the globe, and they're packed full of vitamins, minerals, powerful antioxidants, bioflavonoids, and phytonutrients that all work synergistically to nourish your body at a cellular level. And as well as this being a supplement within itself, it also works synergistically with all the other Nutrify supplements. And as I go through, you'll see a bit more about how it actually interacts with those other nutrients to enhance their benefits and their absorbability in the body. Okay, so MOA has won Stevie Award. It's won the Stevie Award for Product of the Year, and that's out of thousands of entries submitted from over 60 different countries. That there is just a snapshot of the 34 superfood ingredients you've got in MOA. Now, when you're talking to clients or writing copy for websites for advertising or emails or anything, you probably all know we can't make any health claims, so we can't say it cures anything. We're just simply not allowed to. That's not just RX, that goes for any other network marketing companies and most non-pharmaceutical products, to be honest. But for the purpose of this training, I'm going to mention certain health benefits of certain ingredients. So that's different from saying health claims about the product, saying this product is going to cure this. It's actually ingredients that have had clinical trials and studies done on them with proven benefits. And that's different. You know, you can say there's ingredients within the product that have had studies that have done this, but we can't say the product itself does that, okay? So that's what you've got in a bottle of MOA. You can't even buy some of these in your local town, let alone your supermarket. You've got well-known powerhouse ingredients like blueberries and pomegranate and orange, apple and blackberry and plums, etc. But you've also got exotic ingredients in there from all over the world. So you've got the noni fruit, which is the white one on the second row there. That's from Hawaii. You've got bioperine, which is bottom sort of right-hand side, second to the right. Bioperine is actually extracted. It's the active compound in black pepper, and that's what gives MOA its spicy kick. You've also got acai berries from South America, mangosteen from Asia and Africa. Now, mangosteens, I've got some in my fridge, and they have like a natural preservative. They're bottom row again, over towards the right. They have a natural preservative in them, which is another reason why they're used in MOA, because it helps to preserve it. I've had one in my fridge for over 2 years. They just don't go off like ever. You've got agave from Mexico. The goji berries come from China. And then you've got the range of exotic mushrooms. You've got maitake, gold 404, shiitake, reishi, and cordyceps mushrooms from Asia. And then you've got a whole host of other nutrient-dense superfoods that can all sort of help to cleanse and nourish and protect your body at a cellular level. Now, I can't go into every single one, although I'd like to, but I'll just focus on a few a bit later on. Okay, so this slide is just some of the words I'm going to be talking about, and you might know what all these things are, but if I just go through briefly, because it's words that you'll hear buzzing around all the time when you hear about the Nutrify supplements, and MOA especially, and a lot of the time people will pick up on that and ask what they are. So I'll just give you a run through of those. So starting on the left, free radicals. Now, you hear about free radicals causing damage to the body all the time, and the antioxidants are the ones that protect our bodies against free radicals. But in a nutshell, a free radical is an atom or a group of atoms with an odd unpaired number of electrons. So for electrons to be stable, they have to be paired up. They have to have a pair to be stable. Now, these free radicals are formed when oxygen interacts with certain other molecules. And that process is what they call oxidation. That's another word you're going to hear buzzing around, is oxidation. and oxidation causing cellular damage. So basically oxygen interacts with other molecules, and that's oxidation, and that process of oxidation produces free radicals. Now in our bodies, it's these free radicals that can damage the cells and glands, which makes us more prone to diseases and aging. Okay, so you can't prevent free radicals being formed because we all use oxygen, okay, but our bodies are exposed to a variety of different toxins every single day, and that's not just from like body and skincare products, but it's from environmental pollutants, the water we drink, tap water, bottled water, the air that we breathe, air in our houses, which is more polluted than outdoor air, household cleaners, car fumes, processed food. I mean, hundreds of things. You know, you can't avoid free radicals, but it's these toxins that we're exposed to that interact with oxygen, then produce trillions of free radicals in our body. Now, once they've formed, they're highly reactive and they start a chain reaction within the body. And it's a bit like dominoes. Once you ping one, they all just start bouncing around. And their chief danger comes from the damage they do when they react with important cellular components, things like DNA and cell membranes. Because if you remember, I said they're unstable when they're unpaired. They go around the body, and they because they're unstable, they will attack DNA and cell membranes. And when the free radicals attack the cells start to mutate and malfunction and die. Okay, so in essence, free radicals need another electron to make them stable, to neutralize them. And that is where antioxidants come in. Okay, so antioxidants are molecules that prevent the oxidation of other molecules. So they stop that chain reaction that causes the production of free radicals. And I hope I'm not losing you, but it's important to understand, and it's when you understand how important antioxidants are in disarming these free radicals that you get to realize later on how important MOA is. So when you've got a diet that's rich in antioxidants, or like you introduce MOA in your daily regime, so you're getting 34 antioxidant foods directly into your bloodstream, you're actually helping to prevent free radical damage in your body. You're helping to stop DNA damage and cellular mutations. So it's the antioxidants from food that neutralize the free radicals and stop that cellular damage, okay? And that cellular damage, like I said, is the common pathway for cancer, for aging, and for a multitude of other diseases. Now, we've got several, didn't mean to do that. Sorry, that was my finger pressing the button. We've got several enzyme systems within the body that scavenge free radicals. And the principal micronutrient, sort of vitamin antioxidants, if you like, for that are vitamin E, beta carotene, and vitamin C. And then you've also got selenium, which is required for proper function of one of the body's antioxidant enzyme systems as well. Now, the body can't manufacture these micronutrients. They can't manufacture those vitamins in the body. So they have to be supplied through the diet. So when people live on junk food and processed foods and microwave meals and high sugar content foods, they don't have enough of these micronutrients in their body to effectively scavenge free radicals, which is why we need the support of antioxidants. And when you think MOA is packed full of 34 antioxidant-rich foods, it's like liquid gold for your body. Okay, superfoods, that's a term that's sort of become a real buzzword, and it's the power of superfoods become a little bit lost because it's overused so much, but basically it's defined as a food that offers a superior nutritional value to the amount of calories it contains. And whether that's because of antioxidant properties or whether it's because they're really high in vitamins or minerals or have other health benefits, that's not actually defined, but it's just a food that has real benefit to the body in relation to the calories it contains. Okay, bioflavonoids across the bottom there. These are like super duper antioxidants, and they're found in the rinds of green citrus fruits and in things like rosehip and black currants. Now, in MOA, you've got bergamot and that's absolutely packed full of bioflavonoids. And they're used to enhance the action of vitamin C as well. So they help to support like blood circulation. They're really good as antioxidants for neutralizing free radicals. They're great for treating allergies, viruses, things like arthritis and inflammatory conditions. And if you look on a site called PubMed, that's PubMed, if you just type into Google PubMed and you Google any of the ingredients in MOA, it will bring up all the clinical trials and clinical studies that have been done on that particular ingredient. And if you say sort of, put in bergamot, cardiovascular disease, it will bring up all the studies that are done on bergamot for cardiovascular disease. Okay, it's just a really, really good site to look at and familiarize yourself with. And it's really good for sending people links to certain reports on ingredients, because like I say, we can't make health claims about MOA, but there is evidence out there stating how good the ingredients are. Okay, you've also got the grapeseed in there in MOA. The grapeseed comes from Indina, and that's also in the vanillin, and that's incredibly high in bioflavonoids too, which is why that's so powerful as an antioxidant supplement and to help with immunity and allergies and inflammation. Okay, and then moving on to phytonutrients, up in sort of top right there, these are natural compounds found in plant foods such as like vegetables and fruit and whole grains and legumes, and they've got beneficial effects when they work with other essential nutrients. So their role within the plant they come from is to protect the plant from germs and fungi and bugs and other threats, like nature's threats. And in our bodies, they kind of have that similar protective effect. And you can kind of guess which ingredients are the phytonutrients, because they're the ones that have the really strong flavors and the really strong aromas, which makes them really good additions to cooking. So things like your turmeric and your bioperine. Okay, so in MOA, you've got like curcumin, which is the active compound in turmeric, and I'll tell you more about that as we progress. And you've got the bioperine, like I said, from black pepper, and I'll speak a little bit about that too later on. You've also got green tea in MOA, and in green tea there's EGCG. I won't go through the long name because it's really long, but it's basically a really powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and a detoxification agent. And then you've also got quercetin in MOA, which is going to come through from the berries and citrus fruits. And again, if millions of studies on quercetin, if you look at quercetin, it's one of the most powerful phytonutrients on the planet, studied a lot for cancer prevention and cancer treatments. Okay, so you've got that in the berries and the citrus fruits in there. Similar benefits to the EGCG, in terms of antioxidant, anti-inflammatory and detoxification, but you've also got the benefit of anti-cancer properties in there as well. Polyphenols, bottom right, briefly, that's a type of antioxidant, again, evidence for their role in the prevention of degenerative diseases, especially such as cancer and, again, cardiovascular disease. A lot of emerging evidence there. Health effects of polyphenols depend largely on the amount that you're going to ingest and how bioavailable they are. So in MOA, for example, you've got the addition of bioperine from the black pepper that I've already spoken about a few times. We're going to speak about it more. But that single ingredient is phenomenal because it has the ability to enhance the absorption and the bioavailability of pretty much every other nutrient out there. So it makes other nutrients more bioavailable to the body, which means the body can use them. They're more usable, basically. Okay, and then two more on there. Yeah, bioavailable, I just said broadly, that just refers to the proportion of a nutrient that is absorbed from the diet to be used for non-bodily functions. So when people say, oh, it's bioavailable in the body, it means that it can be easily absorbed from the food you're eating and used for bodily functions. And then the last one, inflammation up there. Most people know what inflammation is. You associate it with redness, swelling, pain, especially in joints and stuff. But it's actually a lot more than that. It's a lot more scientific than that. And it's part of a complex biological response of body tissues to harmful stimuli, such as pathogens and damaged cells or other irritants. So it's like a protective response, really, that involves immune cells and blood cells and molecular mediators that, it happens for a reason. It's to protect you. It's got a purpose. And basically, inflammation occurs to eliminate the original cause of injury to cells, or to clear out necrotic cells, like dead cells and tissues that have been damaged from an original injury. But the ingredients you've got in MOA can really help to reduce inflammation in the body and help to greatly reduce the pain that's associated with inflammation. Okay, I'm just going to move on now back to that other slide. So what's in MOA, what's not in MOA? Basically, you've got 34 superfood ingredients in there, as I said before. It's cold pressed to retain nutrients. So most liquid supplements are heat treated. And when you heat antioxidant foods like this from their raw form, you will lose most of the nutrient value, especially B vitamins. B vitamins are largely destroyed by heating. So when you cold press an ingredient, you're retaining far more of the nutrients. All right, you've got complete ingredients. So in there's no powders. Deanna refuses to use powders. You've got whole fruits, and you can see on the right there the mangosteen. It's the one at the back next to the omega Q with like the green top, and it's got a really, really hard shell. I mean, you can smash that on the concrete and it won't smash or dent. It's really, really hard. And inside you've got a lovely white fruit. They use the whole fruit. They cold press the whole fruit with machines. It's cold pressed. They use pericarps, which is what you've got around the mangosteen. They use the skins, the cores, the pips. They use absolutely everything, because that is where a lot of the nutrients are kept. A lot of the nutrients are in the skins and the cores. So that's where you've got a lot of the nutrient density there. Full of antioxidants, full of bioflavonoids. You've got polyphenol micronutrients that I've just been through. You've got thermogenic nutrients in there, like the bioperine. We'll talk through what thermogenic nutrients are a bit later. And yes, 1 stevia award. Not in MOA. No artificial flavors, no artificial colors, no added sugars, no toxic combinations. It's not pasteurized, not heat treated. It's approved by GRI, so it's safe for diabetics. It's low glycemics. It's approved by ELISA Technologies as being completely gluten-free. So it's a completely safe supplement. And it's really important that people understand that even if we eat a really healthy, balanced diet and juice every day, over decades, our soils have become more and more overfarmed, and they're more depleted of their natural nutrients. So when you combine the effects of overfarming, constant crop cycles, and the use of like growth enhancing fertilizers and pesticides and herbicides, the nutritional value of fruits and vegetables we eat today is vastly less than it used to be. I think now you'd have to eat like 7 oranges to match the nutrient content of an orange 50 years ago. And all the chemicals that are used in modern farming kill the nutrients before they've even been picked. And then they're stored and processed or heat treated and cleaned, and all the soil's washed off. And that's where you're getting a lot of like your soil-based organisms and your probiotics from soil-based organisms. It's all lost. And then you like got processed foods, add that into the equation. All your processed foods are heat treated. You've got toxic chemicals that cause oxidation of cells and free radical damage. Things like smoked meats, like packet ham. You can't get packet ham and packet bacon and like joints of pork and bacon without them using nitrites, and they're lethal, they're awful. Smoked meat often uses the same chemicals that are in cigarettes. So lots of supposed health foods are still full of artificial additives and sweeteners that are proven to be carcinogenic. So unless you're eating a raw food organic diet and eating about 200 different foods every day, you are likely to be deficient in a vitamin or mineral somewhere, which can have sort of far-reaching effects in the body. Okay. So I can't go through all 34 of the foods. I'm just going to go through some of them. All right, we'll just look at a few. Again, basic detail. I could talk to you for an hour or more about every ingredient, but time doesn't allow. So you've got a blend of mushrooms in MOA. You've got Maitake Gold 404, which is the most expensive, raw material that RX use. It's costs more pound for pound than gold, and she had to have a special license to even process Maitake Gold 404 because it's so expensive. That's from northeastern Japan. You've got shiitake mushrooms from Asia, reishi from China, and you've got cordyceps. Now they've all got an array of proven health benefits that have been used, claimed and used in Chinese medicine for hundreds of years, because they've got the ability to lower cholesterol, regulate blood sugar, support the immune system, all sorts of fantastic health benefits of mushrooms. Just look at Maitake Gold 404 and reishi mushrooms. Reishi mushrooms are one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. I'm going to talk about biotin a little bit later, because it's a really powerful ingredient. Mangosteen I've touched on, really powerful phytonutrients that I said about there in the rind of the mangosteen, and that includes xanthones, which have a host of impressive benefits. All right, so researchers, again, look on PubMed if you want to, but researchers have identified dozens of biologically active xanthones in mangosteen fruit, and scientific studies have suggested that they promote multiple healthy bodily functions. Okay, and like I said, it also acts as a natural preservative, so it stops bacteria and fungus from growing on a mangosteen. So they also help preserve other ingredients that they are mixed with. I can show you mine on the screen in a minute. Bergamot, amazing ingredient. Bergamot, we get the bergamot from Italy. It's a relatively rare citrus fruit, and there's now a lot of compelling research on bergamot polyphenols. If you remember, I said polyphenols are natural compounds that have powerful antioxidant effects. So when you hear about health benefits of things like red wine and green tea and berries and cocoa and other superfoods, it's due in large sort of part because of their high content of polyphenols. Now, the polyphenols you're going to get in bergamot are really powerful and can help protect against cardiovascular disease. There's lots of studies there showing how they can prevent and actually kill cancer cells. They can assist with bone loss, diabetes, and all sorts of other degenerative disorders. You've got green and white tea in MOA, again, copious amounts of polyphenols. National Cancer Institute studies that have been carried out on both white and green tea state they can, they actually contain the same amount of catechins, which again is a polyphenol. And they, again, have got reported a huge amount of health benefits for the body. There was a study done by UMMC, which is the University of Maryland Medical Center, and they found that green tea can stop the growth of cancer cells in lots of different varieties of cancer, including breast cancer, esophageal cancer, prostate cancer, and stomach cancer. And they also found that it showed positive results in preventing atherosclerosis, which is hardening and accumulation in the arteries. Positive results in preventing high cholesterol, like reducing cholesterol. And obviously both atherosclerosis and cholesterol can lead to heart disease. So, and I also mentioned the ECGC from earlier, so you can look into that a bit more if you want to. Acerola cherries, you're going to hear me talk about acerola quite a lot in this training, because acerola cherries are fantastic. They're really rich in vitamin C. You've also got them in the Vinali supplement. They're rich in vitamin C, vitamin A, thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin, which are your B vitamins. Okay, B1, B2, B3. And people use it for medicine a lot of the time. It's used for preventing heart disease. Again, hardening of the arteries, the atherosclerosis I mentioned before, for treating blood clots, and again for treating cancer. It's also used to treat common colds and pressure sores, retinal hemorrhages, tooth decay, gum infections, depression, hay fever, all sorts of skin conditions and collagen problems. And again, that's why it's so powerful in the Vinali, which we know is really good for skin. And athletes also have been known to use acerola for improving physical endurance. So again, whole host of health benefits. I could talk for well over an hour on acerola alone. I love it. Noni Noni fruit from Hawaii. Do you know, if you look for research on Hawaiian noni fruit, I think there's research out there promoting noni fruit as an aid to pretty much every single ailment and illness out there, which is again why it's used in MOA. So, you know, I found studies on PubMed for, I've written a list here, hang on, it's so I've got this list. People use it for colic, convulsions, cough, diabetes, liver disease, constipation, pregnancy, malaria, nausea, smallpox, spleen problems, swelling, asthma, arthritis, colds, depression, cancer, joint problems, blood pressure, kidney disorders, migraine, PMS, stroke. So, I mean, I could go literally, there's probably over 100 different things there. AIDS, cancer, gastric ulcers, sprains. I mean, everything you can possibly think of. There is a clinical study showing how noni fruit has antioxidants that can help with those illnesses. Acai, another powerful antioxidant, indigenous to the Amazon rainforest. Now the active antioxidants are found in the nutritional pulp and the skin in acai berries, which is again why it's important to get that whole fruit cold pressed, not just sort of like the inner berry. They are also packed with amino acids and fiber and essential fatty acids, as well as vitamins and minerals. So it's actually a near perfect fruit. The acai berries are a near perfect sort of combination containing pretty much everything. No protein, but they're pretty damn good. It's actually been recognized as one of the world's highest ORAC rated foods. I know we don't always sort of quote the ORAC rating. It's the oxygen radical absorption, the absorption capacity. It's kind of a measurement as to how well antioxidants can neutralize free radicals, but it's not always used, and it's not always that accurate. But yeah, in theory, the higher the value, the better the body utilizes it to fight free radicals, and acai is one of the highest. And I'm going to talk about turmeric a little bit later, because turmeric's got a lot of health benefits that we'll discuss later. So I said I'd come back to bioperine because I love bioperine, and bioperine is what gives MOA its spicy kick. It gives it that sort of flavour that no one can quite describe. That's the bioperine that does that. Now, bioperine is the active compound in black pepper. Okay, and black pepper contains 95% piperine, and bioperine is the extract of piperine, and it comes from the berries of the black pepper plant. Okay, but it's not just as easy as sprinkling that, from a pepper grinder. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Now, I thought I'd come back to the thermogenesis. Bioperine is a thermogenic ingredient, which means it significantly enhances the bioavailability of other nutrients because of increased absorption. And the thermogenesis is basically the fact that I'm just trying to put this simply, the metabolic process that generates energy at a cellular level is thermogenesis, okay? And this is the key factor in weight loss and nutrient absorption. And bioperine is a thermogenic ingredient. So it helps with, it can help to improve that metabolic process, and it can help to improve nutrient absorption. All right, now there's been lots of clinical studies done on bioperine. So this isn't a health claim. This is clinical research that you can guide people to. Again, look on PubMed. If you want to look at any clinical studies, look on PubMed. Now, to enhance the thermogenic activity, it sort of acts like a catalyst that sets in motion the mechanisms that lead to digestion and gastrointestinal absorption. So it's like a wheel or propeller, if you like, that transports nutrients directly into the bloodstream for utilization by the body, and it enhances the absorption of other nutrients by up to 60% in clinical studies. And I'll just show you some of those results in a minute. All right, so now you've probably all heard of Ayurveda. It's like a 6,000-year-old practice, and its preoccupation is with the proper functioning of the digestive tract, and specifically the digestion and absorption of nutrients. So it hardly comes as a surprise, really, that bioperine, is one of the most important sort of ingredients in Ayurvedic medicine. You know, it's been used in a lot of traditional Ayurvedic formulas specifically for that purpose. And as well as in, you know, significantly increasing the absorption of other vitamins in the body and minerals, it also is highly beneficial for people suffering from conditions that cause malabsorption of nutrients, and people on medications, people with digestive disorders, and people with other long-term illnesses, because it enhances that absorption. A lot of people that have got sort of compromised digestive systems or are on medication, their body has a reduced ability to absorb nutrients from food, and the BioPerine can help with that. Again, there's some studies on PubMed that I have researched because I'm a bit of a nerd and I like doing things like that. But you know, there's studies in there looking into BioPerine as an immunosuppressant, so an immunomodulator, which basically means that it regulates the body's immune functions by providing protection against immune malfunction. It's proven to decrease lymphocyte activity in the immune system, and studies have proven its ability to also block uric acid, so it's really effective in treating gout. So that's the BioPerine specifically. It's also been proven as a tumour inhibitor. They've done lab tests which have shown it inhibits the growth of colon cancer cells, and there's more human trials needed in that area before it's considered, you know, as preventative or a treatment, but there's really promising studies underway. Studies out there showing how it's used as an antidepressant, because it's been proven in trials to increase the neurotransmission of serotonin and dopamine, which are two of your chemicals that are often deficient in depressed people. Okay, and studies also show that BioPerine can increase the absorption of, like I said, other vitamins, minerals, and nutrients by up to 60%. So if you look at these graphs, without going into too much detail, you can see that gastrointestinal absorption of all the studied nutrients has increased dramatically when it's administered with BioPerine compared to the control group, which received the nutrient alone. And this is measured by the amount present in the blood. Okay, so you know, if you look at the CoQ10 graph there, like bottom right, placebo have got the just CoQ10 on its own, and the yellow bar is the CoQ10 with BioPerine, and you can see that BioPerine has enhanced the absorption of CoQ10, and therefore no surprise that in our BioPro-Q, which is our CoQ10 supplement, you've also got BioPerine in there to enhance the absorption. So when people go, oh, I already take CoQ10, you can say, well, ours is ubiquinol, which is the most bioavailable form, and it's got BioPerine, which is going to, you know, enhance the absorption of the CoQ10 within your body. And CoQ10 is a really, really powerful antioxidant. I'll do that on another training, so I can talk for an hour about CoQ10 too. But it's just really important with, you know, to have BioPerine with CoQ10. Curcumin, top one there. You'll notice now, I will speak in a minute about how important curcumin is in the body and what an amazing ingredient that is. But basically, you can see that curcumin isn't actually absorbed very well in the body at all on the bottom line, the sort of flat lining one there. BioPerine is very, very hard for the body to uptake. But when you add BioPerine, it enhances absorption by up to 2,000%. So, you know, when everyone realised how amazing curcumin was, everyone started jumping on the bandwagon and making turmeric supplements. They're not really going to do too much if you haven't got BioPerine with them. They need to be activated by BioPerine to be absorbed within the body. Okay, so that's why, again, you've got that synergistic blend in MOA. All right, and then you can also see B6 absorption there has increased by over 60%. And this is important for your neurotransmitters that send messages between your cells. So it's vital for your brain development and daily function. It's also really important for your mood hormones, again, like serotonin, and also for the production of melatonin that controls your body clock. All right, so increased absorption across all those three. And again, same story here. Selenium levels increased by 30%. Beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is your plant-based form of vitamin A, if you like, that then is converted into vitamin A in the body. All right, and then you've also got vitamin C, increased absorption by 60%. So that's huge. You know, and that's why it's such a powerful addition, and that's why it's also so powerful to take MOA with your other Nutrify supplements, because whatever you're taking, it's going to enhance the absorption of everything if you're taking the MOA at the same time. Okay, so I'm just going to go about, talk about turmeric. I've spoken about like curcumin, which is the active compound in turmeric. Gives a sort of yellow color to curries and everything. I actually juice it every day as well. I get the root and chuck it in my juice every day. All right. More recently, science has started to really back up what Indians and Chinese have known for centuries, and that's that it contains bioactive compounds that have phenomenal medicinal properties, and that's the curcuminoids, and curcumin is the most important one of those. That is what you've got in MOA. Okay, so like I said, active ingredient, powerful anti-inflammatory effects, and a really strong antioxidant. On its own, like I said, poorly absorbed in the body. I can hear some interference. I don't know who that is, but I can hear something from someone anyway. So really powerful antioxidant. On its own, it's poorly absorbed into the bloodstream. So it really helps to consume it with bioperine, because that can enhance the absorption of curcumin hugely. Okay, so as an anti-inflammatory, it can inhibit many molecules known to play major roles in inflammation, and it's also being studied as a preventative and aid for inflammatory diseases, especially arthritis. There are lots of reports on PubMed on turmeric for arthritis. BDNF is your brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Curcumin actually boosts levels of the brain hormone BDNF, which increases the growth of neurons and fights various degenerative processes in the brain. One of the main sort of drivers in brain processes is that BDNF, and many common brain disorders that have been linked to low levels of that hormone. So it's really important that your BDNF levels are kept up, and curcumin can promote the formation of that. Okay, things like depression and Alzheimer's disease have been studied quite a lot on PubMed, and so curcumin can increase your brain levels, and in doing that, it's there's a lot of studies that are showing it's very effective at delaying or even reversing many brain diseases and age-related decreases in brain function. Okay, turmeric also, it can cause changes at a molecular level to help treat and prevent cancer. Okay, lots of different forms of cancer, but they do have several commonalities, some of which appear to be affected by curcumin supplementation, but you need that bioperine with it, like I've said. Now, researchers have studied curcumin as a beneficial herb in cancer treatments for a long time, because it can affect cancer growth, it can affect cancer development and spread at a molecular level. And there's studies on PubMed, which I can send you if you want, or you can look for them, that have shown that it can reduce angiogenesis, which is growth of new blood cells and tumours. It can stop the spread of cancer, metastases, and it can contribute to the death of cancerous cells, because in cancerous cells, cell death, which is known as apoptosis, is turned off, and curcumin has the ability to turn cell death back on to kill cancer cells, which is what chemo does, but it also kills your healthy cells. This doesn't, it just turns cell death off, so it kills the cancerous cells. Okay, also evidence to suggest that it may actually help prevent cancer from occurring in the first place, especially cancers of the digestive system like colorectal cancer. And there was a study on sort of men with lesions in the colon that can turn cancerous, and with just 4 grams of curcumin per day for 30 days, it reduced the number of lesions by 40%. And that's just one small study on PubMed that I found. Cardiovascular health, Again, lots and lots of studies out there on PubMed. Plays a huge role in heart health and preventing heart disease, improves the function of the endothelium, which is the lining of your blood vessels. It's a really potent anti-inflammatory agent and antioxidant. And in another study that I've seen, there was a trial of 120 odd patients, and they were undergoing coronary artery bypass surgery. They were randomized into like placebo or 4 grams of curcumin per day with BioPerine for just a few days before and after surgery. And the curcumin group had a 65% decreased risk of experiencing a heart attack in the hospital. I've already mentioned depression with BioPerine, but there's lots of studies out there with curcumin as well. Again, more randomized trials, sort of showing it as more effective as an antidepressant than Prozac. And also, depression. Remember, I was saying about BDNF. Depression is also linked to reduced levels of that, and the shrinking hippocampus, which is the brain area, with the role of learning and memory. And curcumin actually, like I said, boosts those BDNF levels, which can potentially reverse some of those changes. And curcumin can also boost serotonin and dopamine, your brain neurotransmitters. Helpful for arthritis sufferers. You can see there, many studies show that it can help treat symptoms of arthritis. And in a lot of cases, studies have proven it's more effective than anti-inflammatory drugs. Alzheimer's, curcumin actually can cross the blood-brain barrier, and it's been shown to lead to various improvements in the pathological process of Alzheimer's disease. More studies out there, and again, powerful for anti-aging and digestion, highly valuable for the digestive system and the liver. It improves the body's ability to digest fats, and it helps improve your intestinal flora. And it's a great antibacterial agent, so it's also good for antispasmodic, relieving digestive or menstrual cramping. All right, I'm just going to move on. Okay, I'm going to have to whiz through these because I'm getting quite short on time, and I always spend far too long talking about it. Sorry, I'm far too passionate about these ingredients.
You've got 10 minutes, 10 more minutes?
Yeah, okay. I'll whiz through these. Okay, so this isn't an exhaustive list of illnesses that MOA can help, but if we look at a few of these illnesses and diseases more closely, you can hopefully see the impact MOA can have on some of them and the benefits that can be gained by taking MOA on a daily basis. And I'll try to focus on the ingredients that are key in these health conditions rather than all of them. So when you're talking to your customers, you can talk about the ingredients rather than making health claims about the actual products. Okay. So working around the page, you've already seen that said that BioPerine can help block the formation of uric acid crystals, so that can be effective for treatment of gout. I've also touched on arthritis, curcumin, and the grapeseed, great for reducing inflammation, as well as the mushrooms in MOA. Chronic inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's and ulcerative colitis, they can be eased due to the inflammatory benefits we've already discussed. The BioPerine has that thermogenic ingredient as well, increasing bioavailability and absorption of nutrients, so really helpful there. And acerola cherries, one of my favourites, they help regulate metabolism and hormones that can have an effect on gut health. You've also got acai and aloe in there that have got digestive benefits, and you've got the xanthones in the mangosteen that help to maintain intestinal health. So all sorts of great things in there for people with digestive or inflammatory bowel-related conditions, all right? Wound healing, all sorts of ingredients great for wound healing. I talk about that a little bit later on if I get to it, when I talk about diabetes. All sorts of things that are good for collagen formation. You've got the berries in there that help to neutralize the free radicals. You've got aloe and grapeseed that are great for skin healing. And you've got acerola and grapeseed that are very good for restoring collagen at a cellular level. Cardiovascular disease, oh my goodness, I could talk about that for another day. Loads of ingredients in here have got a positive impact on cardiovascular health. And if you remember, that's one of the biggest killers in the world. You've got the turmeric that helps prevent the arterial buildup and improves the endothelium and reduces cholesterol and prevents blood clots. You've got acerola cherries that are high in potassium, which is a natural vasodilator, so it helps widen the blood vessels and increase the blood flow, which helps to reduce blood pressure. So you've got people with high blood pressure, acerola cherry is great for that. You've got a whole host of antioxidants in the berries and grapeseed and acerola and pomegranate, etc., to keep the cardiovascular system clear of cholesterol and free radicals. The all your mushrooms and the acai help to reduce cholesterol as well. And the bergamot has got a huge amount of cardiovascular benefits. Bergamot's been studied vastly for cardiovascular health. Okay, it can lower bad cholesterol, it can raise protective good cholesterol, it can control blood sugar, arterial function, general cardiovascular health. Okay, and the best thing is that bergamot can reduce cholesterol without depleting your stores of CoQ10, whereas most cholesterol reducing medications like statins completely kill the body's CoQ10 stores. All right, autoimmune diseases, can't go into each one, but you've got ingredients in MOA that can help with lots of different autoimmune conditions, anti-aging, and I can do a few there, anti-aging and skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis, etc. Okay, so the one to talk about there is the grapeseed. Amazing benefits for the skin, using loads of cosmetic applications. It's you've got beta carotene, vitamin D, C, and E. You've got essential fatty acids, great for reducing wrinkles, lines, scarring, eczema, psoriasis. It's got loads of polyphenols, which can sort of help or reduce the aging process and help with acne. It also helps to moisturize. The cherries are also really high in vitamin C and flavonoids that help with restoring and forming collagen, like I've said before. And you've got lots of carotenoids as well in those acerola cherries to help prevent age-related diseases. Okay, depression and degenerative brain conditions, we've already talked about. That's linked to the BDNF, the brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and that's particularly high in the bioperine, okay, and also in the curcumin. Skin conditions we've done. Diabetes, okay, people with diabetes, they would need to consult their GP, because some ingredients in MOA, especially the curcumin, can increase the effect of medication, so it can alter the blood sugar levels positively, but it needs to be done with guidance from a doctor, because they need to be regularly monitoring blood sugar levels. So I would recommend with people with diabetes to take a really small dose and increase it really gradually over time, so the body adjusts and they can be testing their blood sugar levels. All right. Now there's the mushrooms and the bergamot and the acerola, and they've all been proven to regulate blood sugar effectively. Okay, so that's your key ingredients for the diabetes. Bergamot's fantastic. We've already spoken about digestive disorders, fibro. Oh my goodness, there's so many different symptoms of fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. But there's loads of ingredients in MOA that can tackle a multitude of that. And finally, cancer. I've spoken about that quite a lot. You've got the curcumin to reduce the growth of new tumours, to stop the spread of cancer, to turn on cell death. You've got acerola cherries that can neutralise the free radicals really effectively, and acerola that's been, there's trials there showing it stops the spread of lung cancer in human trials. Bioperine that can inhibit the growth of colon cancers. Green tea, white tea, they all protect the DNA from free radical damage and protect against cancers. All sorts of things, again, aloe, shiitake, they've all got anti-cancer benefits. I can't go through them all, but yeah, hopefully you get the picture there. I can talk about them more another day if you need me to. Energy drinks, I don't have time to go through the energy drinks, but just basically saying, it's a massive market out there. There's hundreds of people drinking energy drinks. They are full of bad ingredients. Reviews been published in the Health Journal, Frontiers in Public Health. Huge amount of health risks. The World Organization have written a review, as about the health risks associated to energy drinks, and you're looking at consuming. I mean, look at the consumption of energy drinks and how it's risen over 10 years and shows no sign of slowing down. And that is just some of the negative effects of energy drinks. You'll also see on some cans of energy drinks that they actually sort of like say in a can it's like full serving, so you should never even drink a can. They should be drunk over 4 servings, and people are drinking 3 or 4 of these a day. That's just some of the health effects. Again, I'm just comparing the MOA to energy drinks, but I haven't got time to go through it. But hopefully from some of the training, you don't actually need me to sort of spell that out to you. Testimonials. I was going to go into diabetes, but I haven't got time. But basically, Abilio, he gave a testimonial. He suffered terribly with diabetes. He was taking 40 medications. He had lots of open wounds, infection spreading. He was told he was likely to need amputations. He had no energy. He couldn't play with his children, and he had no quality of life. And after just 14 days of taking MOA, his wounds were healing. He avoided amputation in the long run. He came off all his medications except for diabetes control. He actually shut down, he actually got rid of 13 medication. He was in no pain. He was playing with his children, and he actually got back to working. That is his testimony, which I haven't got time to go through. But you're looking at, a hospital, I live in Devon, and Plymouth Hospital in 2014 did 500 amputations from diabetes wounds. And they said that, in a report that was published, they said that the majority of those could have been prevented through diet and nutrition at an early preventative stage. That's crazy. Like 500 avoidable, the majority of cases, say like 450 avoidable amputations. If it was, if people were proactive in protecting their health before they lose it. And, more than 170 million people are suffering from diabetes globally, and that's expected to double by 2030, and that's statistics given by the World Health Organization. Just another, like, someone has a limb amputated due to diabetes every 30 seconds, and the World Health Organization is saying that most of these could be prevented if there was proactive support for health before they lose their health. So yeah, just recapping really, I'm sorry I've had to whiz through the end of it, but I didn't have time. So MOA, 34 healing superfoods, maximum nutrient retention, bioavailable in the body, superior absorption of nutrients because of that biopurine, an array of proven health benefits. Those ingredients, look at them on PubMed, safe for adults and children, altered doses, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial. Amazing product, huge market potential. And what I will say is there is a new and improved MOA coming out. It's going to have 2 new ingredients. It's going to be 36 superfoods. It's going to have 2 new mushrooms in it. And they've also found a way to create MOA without any artificial preservatives. So they're going to be losing the dash of potassium sorbate that was in there. So it's going to be preservative free, 36 superfoods. And the good news is it's going to be coming in daily pouches. So they're transportable. You can take them on days out, you can take them on holidays, and you're going to be getting 2 weeks supply of like daily pouches in a box. Similar price, tiny bit more expensive, I think, but they're going to be brilliant in those reusable pouches because you can then give people one to try, or you can, take them on holiday. So that's a really good plus. Remember, that's what I always love. Every time you eat or drink, you are feeding disease or fighting it. And yeah, you just can't afford not to have MOA in your life, really. That's it. So
thank you so much, Marie.
Okay.
That was absolutely amazing.